It's just about 6 o'clock on May 16th, and I want to call to order the regular select board meeting. First item is to approve a couple minutes. We have minutes from our last regular select board meeting, which was May 2nd, and we had a special select board meeting on May 7th, and we have minutes from both of those. I know you commented you sent comments for one of them. Oh, yeah. Does anybody have any?
No additional.
Does somebody want to make a motion to accept both as written?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Good. All right, next is set adjust agenda. We have pretty short agenda. Do we have anything to add, or are we good to roll?
Not from the manager.
Not from the manager's office. Okay.
Say it again.
Is there an adjustment?
No, that's going to stay on there. No, I'm not aware of any changes.
Okay.
Any department heads?
That is beautiful.
Chief, nothing. Tom, you don't have any adjustments, right?
Tom wants to get out of here. He's probably been up since before early. All right, next so we're going to roll with the agenda as written, and next is communication from the audience. Are you here, Larry, for anything on the agenda, or do you want to communicate to us, or are you just going to?
You want to talk about the town service officer position?
Do you want to do that now and then you're free, or do you want to wait till like the reports of you should do it now, because then you can hang out or not as you wish.
Sure, yeah, actually all I wanted to do is tell you, what I do, what I think the job entails, and what I'm not willing to do. And I've had, since we talked last, I've had 3 clients, customers, patients, whatever you want to call them. The police department brings them to me. I think Sean sent one to me the other day. One I took, transported to, and I try not to make it easy. It's like when they come to me, it's like, no, you're not going to come to me and say, oh, your problems are solved, I'll take care of it. I make them, work towards a solution to their problem. I took one to White River Junction to catch a bus that they made arrangements to buy their own bus ticket. I took one to Montpelier and bought her a bus ticket, which I turned in the paperwork and got my money back for it. I housed one in the Hardwick Inn, which I know is strictly not legal, but when you get calls at 11 o'clock, there's not a lot of options. The Inn by the River is not interested in taking them at all. So I can cover give you my credit card, and nope, they're not interested. And I've had several inquiries of things that I'm not willing to do. I'm not a real estate agent. I'm not a social worker. I'm not going to find them apartments or rooms to rent or anything like that. I deal with emergency housing. And I've never turned anybody away. I've never had anybody sleep out. And that's why I do it. And I assume that I still have a budget. I didn't read the whole budget.
As far as I recall, it's 500, I think. It's not very much.
But that's always been enough,
Okay.
and there's no reason that I'd want to change that. Unless, of course, I spent more than that, but I'd let you know. I try to be frugal. I, provide transportation. I've never charged the town for transporting somebody to Morrisville or anything like that. But anyway, just want to let you know that, if the police department or someone, is homeless, and I try to instill on them, the 7 Ps, something that I've always lived by, which is proper previous planning prevents piss poor performance. Just because you didn't plan on a place to sleep tonight does not make it my problem. But then again, it is. But anyway, just to let you know that I do the job.
And we very much appreciate it.
Well, and I do it because I like to do it. I used to do it long before I was the town service officer.
Right, and I think you do it well.
Well, I think I do it. I've had more customers than any town service officer ever, and I think that's only because before that nobody knew we had a town service officer or what they did.
Right.
But now the police department's learned, it gets them off the hook. It's like, Your problem.
Yeah, but essentially, it's still just, like you said, it's just an emergency service. It's not like you're housing them for days.
And I make that perfectly clear.
Yeah.
I put you up for a night, if it's a real emergency, if your house burns down, maybe 2 nights, but,
Yeah.
then you go to social services, you go to somewhere else for help, and I try to set them up with that. I've got,
Right.
a lot of contacts and things to work with certain people, and even in other towns.
Right.
So as long as you're satisfied with my work, I'll keep doing it.
Yeah, we're hoping and,
Well, he asked me a while back, around town meeting, if I would continue doing it.
yes, because we were hoping you would, and, wanted to nominate you to it again, which we did.
Yeah.
Or appoint, or whatever.
As of yet, I hadn't sent anybody to you, Larry, so you'd mentioned maybe I'd sent somebody
Now,
down
he
there.
said somebody from the town said it. I didn't know who it was.
It was Tom.
Which was all right. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
But anyway, that's it.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear the report. Whenever you're moved to come give us a report, please do.
Well, it had been a while. Like I
Yeah.
said, I've done, three in the past year is, that's big business, and
Well, compared to, like you said, before you were doing it, it wasn't
Right.
being done.
well, I know, but it's only because, who knew what a town service officer did?
Right.
Nobody did, I didn't know.
So, yeah, I mean, like you were with our timber.
Right, exactly what, fence viewers, I thought that was kind of like illegal.
Right, all depends on your definition.
Okay, well, that's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for doing it, and thanks for coming to report.
Well, if we're gonna make this brief, I'll stay around and listen a while.
I hope it's gonna be brief. You can
Okay.
stay and decide for
Let's
yourself.
move along then.
All right. So next up is town manager report, which,
I was digging in because if I'm not mistaken, I think Larry was actually, he was assigned, just for point of clarification.
He was, yeah.
appointed,
Yeah, he was appointed, so
Yeah.
thank you, appreciate you doing that. I don't know if he understood that in the conversation, so I just want to
Yeah.
make sure we're on the same page.
still,
That's something my mom's taught me. Down here, don't make the free help mad.
don't make what?
Don't make the free help mad.
Right, exactly. You got it. Yes.
Okay, so for town manager report, ongoing work as part of the land merger process for the Judavine Library project. We have what was the senior center and the existing library properties. The intent is for them to be joined, merged together, if you will. So that was some work that carried over from last November, December. So I'm continuing to interact with the property owners, which is, and everything's on target there, in consultation with the town's attorney and their representatives as well. So we're on pace there. I have relayed this to the library, to Lisa, and the trustees are aware. Did attend the Caspian Lake Beach Committee meeting with Chief Cochran earlier this week.
Good.
So that, they're getting geared up, obviously, to open up for the season. So productive meeting from my perspective, and glad I could be there. The chief and I are assigned as the committee members on that.
Are they the ones that hire the boat, the kids that check for milfoil? They're not, okay.
No, I think that's the Lake Association, maybe, Caspian Lake Association, I think.
That sounds right. That sounds right.
Okay.
We didn't specifically talk about that, but if it's like other lakes, the associations will do that.
But the beach is Hardwick, the beach committee is Hardwick, Greensboro, Points, and is it also the lake? No, it's just the 2 towns? Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason I thought it was 3, but, all right.
And our task is fairly simple, just make sure there's sand on the beach and grass gets mowed and the toilets flush and...
Nothing to do with geese.
No.
Okay.
Well, actually, the geese has become our problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're working on that.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt.
But the Lake Association is dealing with that, to be clear.
Oh, with
They are
with the geese?
working in consultation with USDA
Okay.
to work on that.
All right.
It doesn't touch us right now, meaning the town.
Yeah.
Because there's no nests on town property.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So they are working on that. Continued involvement with the dispatcher interview process, and I know the chief will report on this in his upcoming report, but anticipate an announcement on position being filled within the next couple of business days is what we would anticipate at this point. So
Great.
that's, we've made progress there, of course. Did process, following the special select board meeting that was just approved by motion, we did move forward, the town did move forward with the real estate purchase option with the Yellow Barn site with the 1781 group. That gives us first preference on the property, and it's a part of, obviously, the Yellow Barn Accelerator project, and have been taking part in ongoing meetings and planning, and as early as recent as this morning, had a planning meeting with Agency of Commerce and Community Development in Montpelier. Eric took part in that via conference call, but there are a lot of people obviously involved with this project. I think everybody is aware of that, and we're making good progress. So things are moving forward there. If you want anything on that, Eric?
Just that the Agency of Commerce and Community Development, I think, is being really helpful, like a lot more helpful than I had imagined they could be.
Sure. Very supportive.
Yeah.
Continued coordination with the attorney assigned by the probate court for the Patton family for settlement of estate and possessions at the Cary Road location. So the assigned attorney did actually, in last week's edition of the Gazette Post, notice to creditors. There's a 4-month window where creditors can speak up, and if they have any claims to the possessions, they would have the opportunity to do that. In regards to this, late next week, we have coordinated with the noted attorney and have our town attorney involved to clear this. Let me just take a step back. The probate assigned attorney did do an inventory of the possessions within the ranch house. Basically came up with no value, if you will, but there is some family connection type sentimental value, if I could put it that way. So next Thursday, it's scheduled that with the attorney being present, the family members will have the opportunity to go in and take out some of the personal possessions. This is not counting 2 vehicles. It is not counting some of the equipment and items that are on the exterior of the properties. The town will receive a waiver liability, so we'll be held harmless for the times that they're on site. Our attorney has cleared this. I have informed the chief and Tom, this is what's happening. So things are progressing there.
And there's an auction for some of the...
Yeah, there will be at some point, but we have to wait for these processes of the creditor timeline.
Oh, so it's going to be
once
like
that's
4 months?
cleared, yeah, it would be that 4-month time frame.
Okay.
Then they would go forward with auctioning of the double wide as well as the 2 vehicles,
Okay.
and then some of the larger items in the exterior of the property, if you will.
Sometime in September, early September.
Yeah,
September.
that's what we're thinking at this point. I guess to play it safe, sometime in 19 is probably what we would say there.
Ideally.
Okay, I did attend the Hazen Community Celebration Breakfast, and that was last week, and that was a really good event. There's, the school, that was a particular focus on how the school is interacting with a number of businesses in the community area, getting some kids involved in internship and potential future work opportunities, and that was a really good event, so I was glad I was invited to attend that. Have been processing information, preparation for the public hearings, that will be next Wednesday, just for everybody. We have announced, the notices are in the Gazette, they're up on our website, they're posted in our normal locations. Did a posting today on Front Porch Forum for the ATV ordinance amendment. Just to recall, at a previous meeting, we had the discussion about, okay, are we following Vermont state statute or charter? What do we do? So we checked in with the town attorney, and he clarified for an ordinance or an ordinance amendment, we are obligated to go to public hearing, whether we're establishing one and or making an amendment. So that's the process that we are taking now. So those hearings, they're 2 separate public hearings. ATV hearing starting at 6, Just for what it's worth, we were trying to figure out, in balance, which one do we think will take less time, more time, so we just had to plug some times in. ATV is starting at 6. The parklet ordinance is starting at 6:15. It may be that if the ATV discussion goes over a bit, then obviously we commence into the next hearing. So just so everybody's aware of the scheduling. And so everybody...
But we're not going to wait until 6:15. If the
Well,
ATV...
Yeah, if it's warned that way.
I think we have to,
should.
actually.
Yeah, because it's a
Okay.
separate.
I think we may have to.
Public hearing, so
Yeah.
you just have snacks while you're waiting.
And so everybody is advised, Select Board, I believe, is aware, and so the community is informed. We do have the amended, or we have the original and the amended ordinance up on the town website. We have the draft parklet ordinance on the town's website. If you go to the homepage for the town of Hardwick, those items are right there in the top news items, and then you can get the links right to these items to view them.
And the posted notices for the full text refers people to the website.
That's exactly right.
Okay, good.
Yep. So we've had, any other questions on the public hearing information from the board? So we've had continued communication with USDA contacts for the information needed for the rail trail grant project. So we're working through some permitting issues and some archaeological and historic preservation issues with the state offices that oversee those particular areas. And we're making very good progress. What we anticipate with the LVRT grant that we have out with USDA is in the next, I would, with a good bit of confidence, say we're probably going to be going to bidding out some design services. This is what I don't have my sections right, and Eric can correct me on this, but with the USDA, we're kind of honed in on the section from Slap Hill and heading east, if you will. On a parallel track, we've had some communications this week on VAST is assisting us with NRBC, which is Northern Border Regional Commission grant, for some improvements to the 2 steel bridges out here to the east of the village area. And that would be decking and railing of those particular pieces of infrastructure. At this point, what we, with a pretty good bit of confidence, are seeing is that we'll see construction activity in this construction season for a good part of this segment, and some work going west. Bear in mind, and I didn't note this in the written report, but bear in mind we have the Creamery Road project for the area between Bridgman and Slap Hill, and the parking improvements on the backside of the depot in the Public Works area, if you will. So things are progressing there as well. Communications with the Recreation Committee on a playground equipment purchase process for the Macville site. So we've been working with the committee on that. Getting information in order for request for proposal for exterior painting on the depot building. Wiz and I have been talking about that, so we're hoping to have this RFP out this next week as well.
Nice.
Coordination with various department heads on ongoing operations, so there's quite a bit of spring activity happening right now. I did attend my former company, I attended their annual conference, Vermont Rural Water Association's annual conference with Ken Lacasse and Edward Richard. They were at this event because it's honed in on water and wastewater operations, and they are getting, with them being there, they get continuing education credits, which is required as part of their certifications and licenses. That was a good event to be at. The town hosted a 2-day training event for safety topics led by the Vermont Local Roads Group. Thanks to Tom and his guys, they helped set up. It was in this space here. We had a good turnout from various folks from all over North Central and the Northeast Kingdom. I think on a given day, if I'm not mistaken, we had 20 folks or so, right, Tom? Yeah, probably on a given day. So it was well received. That was a 2-day, over a 2-week, one full day in 2 different weeks. A 2-day training is what I'm trying to say, and that was pretty well received. We've done a little bit of internal testing on the internal phone system here for the building, for the clerk's office, zoning, assessors, town manager's office, And why we've done that is we have a phone system that's basically, it's exceeded its life expectancy. It's 17 years old, can't read LCD screens, just somewhat limited capabilities. So we're evaluating what our options are moving forward. You know, we're not making a huge change on this as of yet. The system works, to be clear, but we want to, you know, we're looking at what we have for potential for possible upgrades.
I would say that the select board would be sympathetic to possible upgrades, having struggled with the phone system during the town manager search process. We were like, holy cow, how does anybody operate these phones? Anyway.
Yeah, you couldn't get out of the manual.
Yeah, but even then, so my first day of employment, I said, I can't see the LCD, how do I set up my voicemail?
Right.
So you do it, you work through it, you know, it works, to be clear.
It works.
It's not perfect, it works, but.
Right, but if you come up with an upgrade plan, I think.
What I would say is
that's a good idea.
we are making do and we're making it work, and, you know, we're always trying to watch our costs, but there's an efficiency factor here, okay? So
Yeah.
that's what I would say.
We work with a company out of Morrisville, Vercom out of Morrisville, and that's for up there and
Okay.
in our system, and it's a good system.
We'll talk to
He's
you
very
about that,
responsive.
for sure, Chief.
If we need
That's good.
anything, so.
Good to know.
Okay, so I have did some coordination with the American Legion contacts for some cleanup of the memorial area. So that just happened here recently in advance of Memorial Day. And then the last thing I would close with is, you know, we're heading into our Memorial Day weekend next week, and my perspective is it's nice to see the flags have been set up in the village area by our public works crew. So Tom, thanks to your guys. And what I would say to everybody is please be thinking of all those veterans who have served on our behalf, and especially be thinking of those who have lost their lives in the line of duty to protect the freedoms that we all enjoy. So that's what I would close with tonight.
Thank you. That's a lot of stuff.
Yes, it's been a little busy, a little bit. Oh, I went over by 10 minutes, is that what you're saying, Chief? Or I went over by a couple minutes?
All right, I'll be done in 3.
All right, Tom, you're up.
Well, as Sean mentioned, there, advertised the flags and the banners this week. The other thing we helped out the Legion on the other side of the park over there. We actually had, Brian came up with Adam Foran had, Brian Foran. Brian Foran came up with Adam Olbrook to cut down some of the trees and stuff, so we de-stumped that over there in the area and stuff so they could get the crane in. And you see also, I think it was today, he actually started down the rail trail a little bit by the lake department for you. So,
Yes, he did. I made a special request.
maybe. So anyway, so that stuff has been done. We went through 15 ton of hot mix. I still gotta get another 10 or more tons to finish that out. We got the sidewalks tore up downtown, in front of the Hardwick Gazette. Got that all set, and even the spot over by the, across the road there.
The co-op.
By the co-op there. We got that cut out and stuff for them.
They were forming the steps up, Tom, tonight
Yeah.
at the Gazette.
I figured we went down this afternoon because today was just hectic. So I had the guys break off, go down with a loader, help them with the steps, bring those out of the way so they could form that up. The guys have been going around whenever we can. We actually got 2 days of grading in this week. Woohoo! So they pretty much, I believe we were out to Scott Road, Macville, Stratton Road, Pearlie started on Porterbrook, worked on Bridgman yesterday, and I think the week before we ended up finishing up like West Hill area over there, Marsh Road, Cape Brook Road, Tucker Brook, and at the same time down on Tucker Brook, Brian had some electrical stuff going on there, so they were digging the road up down through there, laying a power line, so we knew all about that. They had signs up and everything. Got some of the lines painted downtown, at least the parking areas. We still got more left to do. I don't know if we're gonna get everything done because of the rain and stuff. Because next week, we got park benches, garbage cans, finish the lines, crosswalks. What else is on the hit list? Get everything all mowed, because we haven't really done much mowing. We've
Sweeping
done
by the
some.
contractor, Tom.
What's that?
Sweeping by the contractor too.
Yeah, I have no
Next week.
idea. I haven't even heard.
Yeah.
So, Hopefully the sweeper will be in on the 20th. If not, we have been out with ours, doing some of the side streets when the ground was a little bit moist.
That does a pretty good job.
It does a really good job. It's not too bad. It just takes longer, that's all. It takes more than, 2 passes compared to the other sweeper.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's it.
That's great.
Right on time.
I do have one, this is for you, both of you, but, do we have a list of summer projects for back roads this year?
No, none.
Why?
Because I don't want nothing right now.
Why?
Because we're still in, I think we're still in April, I think. The way the weather's cooperating, we ain't gonna
weather's
get
still in
nothing
April.
done. No, I started a list over at the garage for the guys on, I'll give it to you on culverts that we need to do and replace and stuff.
But are we doing
Areas of the
anything-
roads.
any-
Anything major? No.
We don't have anything on the,
No, because the only thing that we got really that we have to, do is reshape Bridgman Hill and stone that up through there so we can be in compliance with our road permitting process. Yeah,
yeah,
so we gotta get that done.
okay,
So the other areas is, I'll give you a list of, the ditch work and stuff where we
Yeah.
gotta go, like West Hill Extension, because that's a little steep. So we gotta ditch that, stone that, replace the culvert there. We got 3 culverts on Hunter Lane, we got 1 on Porter Brook. Oh, God, there's a list of
yeah,
them.
there's a bunch. So, I'm just thinking that we had put in the budget some money for back road improvements annually.
Yeah,
And, one of the things you did recently was, you guys have done a bunch of different approaches.
Yep.
Like some areas have been like dig down 4 feet and replace everything. And all the way to just like putting on a.
good layer of stay mat. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And good layer statement was Montgomery Road, part of it?
Montgomery Road.
Yeah.
Cobb School Road.
Oh, that's right.
And we did, Bunker Hill last year, from where we did all the
Yeah.
ditch work and stuff.
Okay,
And we did it,
You did
and
some
ended up
of it,
going down
okay.
through there, yeah.
all right. Oh, yeah, and I actually heard from Adam, actually, that was good, nice where you ditched.
Yeah.
He did mention he'd like to see more state mat on the,
Oh, everybody would.
everybody would. But are those sections holding up pretty well?
Oh, yeah, because what I try to do every year after, of course, after a year like this, we'll go back through and we'll redress them again. We'll
Yeah.
put another, not as thick layer, but
Yeah.
we'll put another layer down, then
Yeah.
that way we're keeping that.
Yeah.
So,
So do we have budget to do more sections of road even just with stay mat or?
oh, yeah,
We do?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the new budget, I think we'll have
So there's-
26 this year, or
Yeah.
27,
Yeah.
I think, in it, for doing that.
So are there sections that we're targeting for?
You're picking my brain right now.
I'm not saying you have to tell me right now. I'm just trying to plant the seed that, sometime
But next meeting, I will have a
next
full
meeting or the
list for
meeting
you.
after, just
will
come
have
in
a
and
full
say,
list
this
for you
is
next
what I'd
meeting."
like to, this is what I think the plan is.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be great.
No
Thank you.
problem. Yeah.
All right. Next, sorry I made that long. Next is the police department report. Aaron Cochran, tell us what you got.
All right, well, I don't necessarily have good news to start. Corporal Locke has submitted his resignation. He will be going to Lamoille County Sheriff's Department as of May 28th.
So we're having some back and forth with officers with the sheriff's department.
Probably, I think we need to have a discussion at some point.
Call a truce.
Well, it's not even that. I guess the difference is that and we're not the only agency that is experiencing this. There are other agencies in Lamoille County that are having issues right now, as well. And I just found out there may be some other agencies that are gonna be, not real happy as well. So, whereas us as a municipality, when we post a job, we're not out there seeking out people. We post a job and accept applications. So it's been a little different, on the other hand, where they have been actively recruiting and offering very large bonuses to individuals. So there is a difference there, a big difference as far as I'm concerned, so.
Sometimes that's called poaching.
That's what we call it, yeah, that's what we call it. That was addressed, or legislature had talked about addressing that a couple years ago. A very large state agency did not want it to go forward, I think probably because they didn't want to pay poaching fees, which is what was proposed by legislature. So it's a problem around the state, but it has become a very big problem as of recently within the last year around here that we kind of need to figure out how to address it, so. So I think another discussion for maybe a later time, and.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're still, when saying that you're hearing about other agencies, it sounds like you're still gathering information a little bit about the whole scene. So when you have a little clearer picture, and we can have a little discussion.
I think so, yeah. The other thing is Officer Moeller has also talked to me. He's actually considering a change of career. He's actually looking at going to flight school. He has been working on pilot's license and so on, et cetera, so he is looking at, maybe moving forward at flight school. So that may be coming at some point this summer, but, it's
So
the way it is.
a little busier than usual hiring.
Yeah, that could happen this summer, so, we certainly wish him well. It's a career that I wouldn't want. I don't like heights, but I do it, he came to me and said, this has kind of been a dream of mine, and it's what he's, working towards, so I at least have some heads up that may be happening, this summer. He's not getting poached anywhere, wants to be a pilot. So, we over the past couple weeks, as Sean had said, we've been doing dispatcher interviews. Casey, Amanda, myself, Sean, and Sergeant Barber, pretty extensively, actually. I've never done interviews with as many people and as extensive we did, but it is a pretty important position, really. It was pretty good. We actually went to a second round of interviews because we couldn't necessarily make the decision on the first round with some, so it was difficult, I thought.
It's a valuable tool to do second interviews.
I had a headache by the time I was just from thinking and trying to concentrate and listen to watch them and so on. Just trying to make it, it's hard to make the right, in a position like that, it's hard to, you try to make the right decision, and it's difficult, especially when we had, the candidates that we had, so. But.
It's difficult because you had good candidates.
They were good, yeah, exactly, yeah, so, to try to.
I always wish there's a.
Try to pick one out of the good candidates we had.
I always wish there's a way to communicate to the ones who don't offer the job, look, this,
Right.
You're all good.
Because they're obviously gonna be disappointed, the ones that,
But if they're
that
good,
didn't
they'll
make it.
find employment elsewhere, that's good
Right.
too, so.
So I am not prepared to, with respect to them and letting their employers know and so on, but, to say tonight exactly who we've chosen, but, it will be filled June 3rd, so.
Great.
So that'll be the start date. And we're very confident in our decision, and I think.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
It's great that you're moving forward, that's awesome.
So that would be good. Of course, the parade coming up, so all the assignments have been made for that, to do traffic, et cetera. We actually have more officers that will stay on throughout the afternoon, as it is Click It or Ticket starting May 20th, the annual Click It or Ticket campaign for the state. So, there'll be some of our part-time officers will as well be on and be doing Click It or Ticket campaign throughout that day. So, Let's see, next week, is a busy week for us. A lot of us have been subpoenaed for the Jeffrey Giles arson trial that starts next week in Orleans. That was about 2 years ago. It was an arson case out of Greensboro. So that starts next week on Wednesday, and a lot of us have got trial prep next week prior to the trial and so on. So busy week for us. If it ends up going to trial, we never really know until we get called in that day. So, but it's expected, and we have been subpoenaed for that. So that's coming finally after 2 years to trial. So yeah. And as I said, the Click It or Ticket annually every year is done around Memorial Day, and we'll be participating in that as well.
Good.
So.
Just tied on to Memorial Day, just a reminder, we mentioned this in the last meeting, but we do have the fireworks scheduled for Saturday, the 25th, and the backup date is Sunday, the 26th. Just to remind everybody.
Let's hope we break out of the April weather, as Tom says.
Extended looks good, so we'll see about that.
Okay, all right.
We'll see that.
The 5 days,
Yeah.
too. Oh, well, thank you. All right, Doug, you have a question?
Yeah, is there like a figure as to how many people applied for the dispatcher position? Like how many applicants you got roughly, or?
Just a rough guess was around 15, I believe.
Around 15?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Do you want to,
I'm wondering about the whole dog, or dead animal protocol. So when there's a dead skunk on the side of the road, now that there's a sign in the post office that the USDA wants to know about roadkill and other, yeah, there's a big old sign in the post office that says the USDA wants to know about roadkill. And it's a weekend. What does one do?
Well, Fish and Game they deal with all wild animals. So it would be calling, the dispatch and, letting them know.
So I called the dispatch on Saturday. The first person I talked to, because the skunk was not quite dead yet, but it was headed that way. The first person I talked to at 8:30 in the morning on Saturday said that she would call the game warden. And so 3 hours later, when the skunk was still there, now fully dead, I called again and said, what happened, are they coming, or, whatever, it's a nice day, the kids are riding their bikes, the skunk is laying here, and I was told by a different dispatcher that the game warden didn't do that, and I should call my animal control, which we don't have animal control, as we all know. We have a dog officer, and that is not his job. So, and I get that, yeah, but it's still very murky, even for me. And then people come in and ask me, because I should know what is supposed to happen, how it's supposed to work out, Am I supposed to go out there with the shovel and get the thing? Or, who?
We don't have, as you said, an animal control officer per se to go pick up dead skunks. It's a dog officer. Fish and Game is responsible for wild animals regardless of whether...
At this point, should know that that's
they
who should deal with it.
They certainly should,
So-
yeah. It's not, we certainly don't have the equipment either to pick them up.
Any more than I am.
Right, and so it is a wild animals are, they're
I'm laughing because I took care of it.
Yeah, I know, but.
Sorry.
They are
just like
Fish and
a
Game,
thing,
yeah, they are Fish and Game, and the dispatcher should have known that as well.
Okay.
I don't know why they would
So the
have.
hopefully it'll
Yeah.
never happen again, but
It'll
next time I
happen
will
again.
tell the
It'll happen
dispatcher
again.
that they're supposed to know
Yeah.
that it's.
Regardless of whether it's village or town, it doesn't matter, that wild animals are, their purview.
So another suggestion on that is you can reach out to the game warden direct, and their phone number is in the phone book.
Okay,
You don't have to go through dispatch.
okay. And the game warden is for the county?
Boy, they have different. It's
kinda weird.
area, yeah.
So
Yeah, I
it's
don't-
gonna be in that little Fortune marketing phone book?
Nah, no.
never
It'll be
tried
in
to
the
look.
Fish and Wildlife book. It'll be in there. I don't know if it's
You
in
may
that
have to
little-
dig online to find a phone number, but, I
Okay.
didn't mean to.
Just so everybody knows,
Yeah.
dig online for the fishing game, yeah, just saying.
yeah.
Or they call
Yeah.
it, sounds like dispatch, if you get, they should know.
Yeah, and I don't know, did you talk with our dispatcher or with state police?
I called the police number and
Okay.
I talked to 2 different dispatchers over
Okay.
a period of hours.
So the only other thing I would add to that is call state police directly because they dispatch, all the wardens are dispatched by state police.
Okay.
So I would say
That's good to know.
call state police directly, whichever state police number for the area.
Okay.
And call them because they dispatch. So they would actually log, because if
it is.
there's only one warden per so many towns, not
Right.
necessarily county, but per so many towns.
Okay.
And it's pretty vast. And if he or she has the day off, then another one would cover that area.
Yeah.
So the state police would know who's actually on for that area for the day. So
Okay.
that's the other thing I would add to that is,
And then
Just
the
call them
mystery of
directly.
why USDA wants to know about it all
Yeah, I
is
don't-
still a mystery.
They're trying to
Yeah.
determine if it has
But they do have a big
rabies.
sign up
It
at the
is.
post office.
yeah, it is to me too. I don't
Yeah.
know. I haven't seen I didn't see the sign.
It says
but-
rabies on the sign.
Yeah, but they say all roadkill, so you're like, well, how do you
Eric,
know?
Larry had a comment.
You know,
Larry had his
Larry,
hand
you
up.
have a comment about this?
Yeah, those numbers are in the hunting regulations manual that you can pick up free at any place that sells hunting and fishing licenses. Right Way Sports, Smith's Store, any place that sells a hunting and fishing license has those manuals, and those numbers are in there.
Okay,
Yes.
good,
okay,
good to know. Thank you.
all right, that's cool.
There we go. All right,
Just don't call me,
don't call Sherry,
that's who you don't call.
call Fish and Game.
No,
All right, so we're
got
gonna,
enough live ones to deal with.
we're skipping Hardwick Electric. And item number 1 is update on interested candidates and startup actions for compost and recycling task force. Did we get any interest?
There were no additional candidates. Tyler and Carol, who had previously said we want to be in the game, if you will, did email me in this last 2-day period and say, unfortunately, I have other commitments, can't be at the meeting this
Right,
evening.
yeah.
So,
Well, they shouldn't need to come back necessarily.
no, just so you're aware,
Yeah.
you know, they said, well, we wouldn't be at this particular meeting. So we did open it back up after the last select board meeting and didn't see any other names or candidates submit information.
Okay.
So,
I did make a call and talk to Bethany at Center for Ag yesterday, and it's a busy time, but it's possible, she said that there, maybe some ideas would come up from them after this, like, you know, it's like
After
sort of
Memorial Day.
kind of spring and planting and all that kind of stuff. But, yeah, I just asked her about the comment that, Andrew made at town meeting about how surely the CAE could participate in offering some way for
Yeah.
people to put compost in their bins or something.
Yeah.
So I'll continue to try to pursue that,
Great.
and we'll see what comes about, but I don't see creating a task force with 2 people
No.
as being a thing that we can really do. But, you know, still.
Were you thinking of being on the task force, or are you?
It's, honestly, I'm the solid waste district rep, but it doesn't really interest me that much. But I feel like I should continue to, you know, I have resolved my own composting, and I don't have a lot of time for more meetings, but I'll still try. But are you interested in being?
I would be willing to be on it, yeah.
So then,
Oh, you would?
well, then somehow, you know, maybe it'll come together. I think we just can't really have a official thing.
So if we had the 2 who expressed interest, if Lucian expresses interest, that's 3,
And 3 to 5 was the
was the target.
hope. So,
And really, this is not necessarily to conjure some amazing solution, but to just
come up with ideas.
come up with some proposals that maybe would work, and and this task force could be the group that reaches out to Bethany or whoever at CAE, and maybe reaches out to
And they have a new, I mean, they've just announced their new,
John Ramsey as their new executive director. Yeah.
And so she just wasn't willing to say, but I think give it another month and maybe, we could work some stuff out. I don't know.
Okay. I mean, the whole thing shouldn't be put off just because the
Keep
Center
talking
for
about it.
Agricultural Economy is in transition, because there might be other options. I mean,
No, but we were putting it off because we only had 2 people who were interested.
And now we have 3.
Now we have 3.
Yeah, so
It's a quorum.
one of those 3 could organize a meeting of them and see what they come up with, and if you tell me when it is, then I'll see if I can come.
Sure, I'm into it.
You're into
I mean, we
it.
don't need to do an official anything, right? Because it's just a group of, it was not like a
task
official committee,
force.
it's just a group of people who are interested, right?
Who are tasked with making, trying to make some recommendation for easing the composting situation in the village.
Right, okay, yeah.
And the CAE could be a resource for figuring that out. And somebody else mentioned maybe Hazen, because they put a fairly big composting thing up there, and maybe the school and/or students would be a resource too.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I can, if everybody's okay with it, I could email Tyler Carroll, have Lucian in the mix, copy Sherry, I could
Yeah.
copy Bethany if it'd be valuable, and just say that these 3 folks are interested, and then say, all right, you 3 coordinate on maybe getting together and chatting about what you want to do moving forward.
Yeah.
You can do it that way if you'd like.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can all have our emails.
Yeah.
We can
Great.
do it.
So we are,
And we'll have the report next Friday, right?
Yeah, like
So-
October.
so we're basically appointing Lucian, Tyler, and Carol.
Carol.
Yeah, to be our task force at this point.
Okay.
If anybody else is interested, the door's still open. Please send a letter of interest to the town manager's office, but so far we haven't had a lot more interest, but if those folks are ready to go, then we are tasking them with coming up with whatever they can come up with for proposals for composting. That'd be
Eric-
awesome to move that
Eric,
forward.
does that have to be anything as official as like the form of a motion for the assignments?
I don't think so.
Nah, I didn't think so,
It's a
just
task
making
force.
sure. Yep.
Do you think? I don't think so.
Okay.
Not
It's
get
pretty-
out, there's any power or money involved.
There's not any power or money. No. But if you're willing to help us, please do. That's really the mandate.
There's no groveling either.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. That is great. And next is select board reports.
First, I would like to point out to people here and people who go through the building that the art in this building now has labels, thanks to Norma Spalding of the Historical Society, who has done a lot of research and found out what they're supposed to be and who did them and stuff like that. And there's a fairly lengthy explanation of the statue of the Last Supper that's out here over the door. If you've ever walked into a public building and wondered why there is this religious statue up there, we now have an answer for you. So thank you, Norma. The Historical Society's spring meeting is being held at the Townhouse at 7 o'clock on Monday. The speaker will be Alan Davis, who grew up in Hardwick and spent his career teaching history at Temple University. And Alan will talk about a subject that he's very enthusiastic about, which is how to take the genealogical research you've done and turn it into a more three-dimensional history of your family. How to research beyond just who begat whom and when. And on Tuesday this coming week, I guess that's the 21st, the Historical Society is open for the summer. We are open to the public Tuesday and Thursday, 1 to 4. Y'all come.
I was hoping Danny was here. I just wanted to mention that Danny worked on the trail out here, so you can now walk from town, from here, from like the electric department out to the Well, out to
far
the
as
bridge
you wanna
anyway,
go.
if you
You can
dare.
cross the bridge.
But if you dare cross the bridge, you can get all the way up to Ford dealership or beyond on the rail trail now.
And all
so.
the work Tom's crew did last year is, definitely looks good out there too. But yeah, shout out to Danny for
Danny.
leveling that, that was nice.
Finishing touches on it.
Oh, and we have,
The next step anyway.
yeah, so I will just add to that, Ken Brown is bringing somebody from
VHB.
VHB engineering firm to come walk through on that and trying to help, we're hoping they're gonna sharpen their pencil on a bid for the engineering on that section. And we're also hoping that when they walk through, they're like, that they'll see that there are culverts that don't have to be engineered because they're there and working. So that's part of, which was part of the goal of getting that done ahead of them. Any other select board reports? Any new business?
Got to mention there.
Yeah.
We got a new speed bump over there on Highland Avenue, so if anybody's going over that way, just watch out.
Intentional?
We did a water main tap today for the, was that Teen for Challenge place right there?
Oh, Teen Challenge, yeah.
Yeah, Teen Challenge, they had to have a sprinkler system,
Oh,
so we had to run a 4-inch main across the road. So there is a new speed bump there, which will probably be there for a couple of weeks.
I like the wording on that.
yeah.
Forgot about
Right
that.
at the top of the hill, that's good.
Pretty close, yeah.
Oh,
Traffic
So
control.
slow down a little bit.
the kids will love that with their bikes.
Between your guys and the electric company trimming trees, Highland Avenue for a couple of hours this afternoon was practically
Oh, yeah, it was busy,
impassable.
yeah.
Busy.
Because while they were cutting, we were in a hole, we were getting sawdust on us and stuff, so we were having fun.
Thank you. Any old business? All right, adjourn. Thank you all. Did we beat Danny's record?
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
No?